Before RuPaul's Drag Race, there was one South Beach club that gave us wigs, waistcoats, and wig snatching one-liners. This week, we're heading back to 1996 for The Birdcage, a film that had Robin Williams playing it mostly straight, Nathan Lane stealing every scene, and Gene Hackman in drag. It's farce, it's fierce, and it still knows how to put the F in family dinner.
Welcome to the No More Late Fees podcast. I'm Jackie.
And I'm Danielle, and we're just two best friends and ex-Blockbuster employees rewatching some of the best and worst movies from the late 90s and early 2000s. And this week we're diving into the 1996 classic, The Birdcage. But before we dive in, let's get into some housekeeping. If you love the podcast and you want to support us, here are a few ways that you can.
You can buy us a virtual cup of coffee on coffee.com. Every contribution helps us to keep the Blockbuster vibes alive. Visit us at ko-fi.com/no more late fees. You can also rent the theater for $50. If you make that contribution, then you can choose a movie from our time frame and we'll cover it on the podcast.
And if you want more hot takes, deep dives, and behind the scenes fun, because trust us, after we edit, there's a few things that don't make it, and we'll have you laughing. So join our Patreon for exclusive bonus episodes and perks at patreon.com/no more late fees.
And if you're looking for nostalgic merch to add to your collection, check out our Amazon store for curated picks inspired by the 90s and 2000s. Just head to amazon.com/shop/no more late fees podcast.
And this week, of course, we're not alone. We are joined by our pod pals from the podcast, The Delicious Recap. Joining us are Ajay and John, the wonderful hosts. Welcome, guys. So glad to have you on.
Hello.
And if you guys haven't heard of the podcast, you'll hear their wonderful ad in our Pod Pals Fest segment later on today. But also, they cover the wonderful 90s show Family Matters, which I know they have a lot of fun, hot opinions that you guys got to go check out. But if you want to learn more about them and their show, make sure you go and check out this week's bonus episode where we rate our 90s TV show drag performances and hear their employee picks. All right, Jackie, tell us about The Birdcage.
So The Birdcage is a vibrant and hilarious comedy about love, family, and acceptance, centered around a flamboyant gay couple, Armand and Albert, who run a drag nightclub in South Beach. Their lives are turned upside down when Armand's straight son announces his engagement to the daughter of an ultra-conservative U.S. senator. To win over the bride's uptight parents, Armand must awkwardly hide his life, his partner, and his nightclub in a desperate and wildly funny attempt to play it straight for a dinner. It stars Robin Williams, Nathan Lane, Gene Hackman, Diane Weiss, Dan Futterman, Callista Flockhart, and Hank Azaria. You can currently watch it on Prime. But before we start, let's get into our ratings rewind.
So, you know the drill. Before we get into the movie, we'll reveal the rating our Y2K versions of ourselves would give, and then at the end, we'll see if our current selves agree with our initial rating. Our scale consists of would buy it again,
The best, would play on repeat,
5-day rental,
would watch again.
2-day rental,
Okay, but nothing to write home about.
and same-day rental.
Throw it in the trash along with Agador's shoes.
All right, we're going to start with you, AJ. What is your Y2K rating?
My Y2K rating would be 2-day rental.
Okay.
I think that's where I would be at in that age.
And John?
I'm going to give it, I would say, a 5-day rental.
Jackie?
I remember as a youth, saying I love The Birdcage, but I haven't watched this movie since the 90s. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go 5-day rental because I had fond memories of loving it, but In actuality, I didn't watch it that often.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. I have to triple check, but I don't think I own it. So I'm gonna say 5 day rental. But I remember thinking it was the funniest thing ever. And I love the end for some, like, those are the things that are like burned, seared into my brain. So yeah, 5 day rental. All right. Apparently, Jackie, we were not alone in our love for this movie. It had a budget of $31 million and it grossed $185.3 million. That is a lot
Yeah.
of feathers to buy.
I would
Especially.
like to go back to Whatever It Takes had a budget of $30 million. We got the Birdcage for 31 million. What is happening?
Well, we'll get into how this was how it was made. But so it opened in March of 96 and in its opening weekend it opened to about $18 million. And it remained at top for the next 3 weeks before it was derailed by Primal Fear and A Thin Line Between Love and Hate coming out. But by the end of its 14-week run,
14.
back in the day, man, a movie was really in the theaters. The film had grossed $124 million domestically with an additional $61 million internationally. Let's hear what Lil Raj had to say. So,
Mr.
Phil,
Ebert.
film critic Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times awarded the film 3 stars out of 4, writing that while the material will be familiar to those who have seen the original 1978 film or its Broadway incarnation, what makes Mike Nichols' version more than just retread is, did I say that right?
I think it's Retreat, maybe?
Retreat? Okay. More than just a retreat is good casting in the key roles and a wicked screenplay by Elaine May, who keeps the original story but adds little zingers here and there. Live on Fisher Island and getting buried in Palm Beach, that way you'll get the best of Florida, as being one of those lines. However, in his review for the Washington Post, Hal Hinson noted the film's subversiveness, commenting that while politicians like Keeley talk a good game of family values, it's Armand and his non-traditional clan who have the stable home life. They are a family. So the Birdcage represented a major turning point in media for the portrayal of LGBTQ people. We right I think right after this, no, right before this, and I think we talked about this when we did Tu Wong Fu. We had The Adventures of Priscilla, the Queen of the Desert, that came out, and Tu Wong Fu. And yes, Tu Wong Fu was a bit of a hit, but not. This was very like mainstream, I
Mhm.
guess you could
Yeah.
say. And it also, those movies also featured drag queens and were released prior to this movie, but did not achieve the same level of box office success. The studio films centering on gay people to that point were movies like Philadelphia, which tended to focus on tragic stories concerning HIV and AIDS, while this story obviously was lighter fare and again show demonstrating maybe more of a family life than we had experienced on from a media standpoint, and it opened up the doors. I think maybe like a year or two after we got Queer Eye, we got In and Out, we got, oh, what's the name of that show?
The L Word was not too far behind.
The L Word. No, but there was something before the L Word. There was another show,
Oh, Queer as Folk.
Queer as Folk,
Thank you.
came
Yeah.
out.
Mm.
Mm.
So this was kind of like a gateway, I guess.
Big stepping
Gateway
stone.
drug.
Yeah.
Well, before we get into the cast and crew, let's hear a message from our pod pals.
Hey, it's John Francois.
Hola, y'all. I'm Ajay Vandertunt.
And have you ever licked something and thought, that's delicious? Well, that's us. We're the Delicious Recap.
We're putting our tongues on all kinds of media.
Family Matters, we're putting our tongue on 9 years worth of content that is sometimes good, sometimes not so good, but you know what? All around, it's childhood lovely goodness that is worth a taste.
It really is. I wonder what a snort would taste like.
It tastes like mango. We're recapping Family Matters from beginning to end. I mean, we've done season one. We're currently on season two as we're recording this. We interview cast and crew from the show. We interview like-minded 90s loving podcasters. Come join us, the delicious recap, wherever you get your podcasts.
So, cast and crew, Nichols envisioned Robin Williams and Steve Martin in the roles of Albert and Armand, respectively, but Martin turned it down because he did not think that he would be able to bring the camp quality required for the part. And Williams did not want to play Albert because he had already played a flamboyant character in Mrs. Doubtfire. And Steve Martin has gone on record saying that he regrets this decision and it was his last opportunity to work with Robin Williams before he passed away.
Oh,
Aw.
wow.
I
Oh my God.
do think that Steve Martin, like it would have been hilarious without a doubt. But there's something about the way Nathan Lane played the role that felt grounded.
Yes.
Like it was a caricature, obviously, very on the extreme, but he had so much heart to it, and I just wonder if Steve Martin would have been able to like add that layer to
But
it.
Steve Martin would have played
Armand?
Armand and Robin Williams would have played Albert.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
okay.
That changes the
That
perspective.
does
Oh.
that does change it, but I still
Yeah.
He
I
would have had
mean,
to do a whole lot of waxing to play Albert, I feel.
it, it definitely wouldn't have aged well if it was
No.
Steve and Robin because it's
Yeah.
like
yeah,
it's two straight men, you
Yes.
right.
know, and I think yeah, Steve would have been the straighter character or the
Correct.
straighter seeming character Armand, so I think he would have been okay, but Robin has done like, gay comic bits in his stand-up and on the Tonight Show. Like I think it was a good choice to have Nathan Lane do it because
Yes.
Nathan Lane being gay in real life, I would think that he had some agency to take it where he could take it and, be okay with it. So,
I don't know. What do you think, AJ?
I do think that Steve Martin would have been fun to see, but for me, and just experiencing the movie, I felt like it was like Miss Doubtfire light. So if
Hmm.
Yeah.
Robin Williams ended up being Albert, I'd have been like, wait, are we just rehashing the same movie over
yeah.
again?
Right.
And that's why he turned it down, right? I mean, because
Yeah.
he already played drag with Mrs. Doubtfires, and Robin wanted to do something different. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's why he decided to go with Armand.
Well, the duo behind this movie was Mike Nichols, who directed, and then Elaine May, who wrote the script. And this
Mhm.
was a long-awaited movie collaboration between the two. Like they had
Mhm.
been wanting to work together for a while, so it was, I think they did a great job. I
And
also
they're
think,
and they were sorry to interrupt. They were also a
no,
famous comedy team, so that
yeah,
probably added to the anticipation. Yeah.
yeah. And it's pretty interesting too because I think the lore behind this is that they were going to make the Broadway musical, bring it to Broadway, and I think Mike Nichols wanted to either be a part of that production or he was already talking about like making the movie, but someone had like told him no. So he actually went to the head of the studio and was like, I need you to option this to make it into a movie. And that's how he
Mm.
kind of like got around it and was able because
Hmm.
he really, really wanted to make this into a film. So
Hmm.
I was like, go ahead and do what you got to do, Diane Sawyer's man.
And when Nathan Lane was cast, he was already committed to starring in a Broadway production of A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum.
Hmm.
But Nichols convinced producer Scott Rudin to postpone the musical so that Lane could star in the film. The strings, the
I
pull you
know.
have
Yeah.
to
To do
delay a
that.
Broadway show,
Right.
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah. Broadway always needs its money, so that Nathan Lane must have been a really important get for Mike Nichols to make that phone call.
Yeah. And Gene Hackman said that taking a role in the cast was an opportunity for him to return to his improv comedy roots, which
I never knew about that. I
me
knew like
either.
obviously Gene Hackman has a great dramatic resume, but like Jesus, I never knew he had a background in improv comedy.
Well, that makes like one of our favorite movies that we covered not too long ago was Heartbreakers, and he is hilarious in that
Yeah.
movie. Yeah.
Really? I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to see that. I was always afraid of Gene Hackman. I was like, he looks angry all the time. What?
First and foremost, Heartbreaker is a classic. It's so damn good. It's so fun and silly, and he plays a very weird,
Smoking
smoking,
magnate.
addicted
Oh my
billionaire
God.
with, and he has a prosthetic on his nose. He looks awful
Yeah.
in it,
Yeah.
but yeah, really fun.
I've got to brush up on my Gene Hackman movies. I've seen so few. Like he was Lex Luthor in Superman, but and I think I saw the Royal Tenenbaums a while ago. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
I haven't seen as many Gene Hackman movies. So especially since he's now gone, it would be nice to just go through his IMDb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, the Royal Tenenbaums, he had no clue what was happening the entire shoot. Like, he was so confused. He didn't get it. He didn't get Wes Anderson. Like,
Oh,
he was pretty much like, I'm acting. I don't know what this story is saying, but I'm here.
was that the last movie before he retired? Because I think he retired
No,
in like 2004.
Heartbreakers
Oh,
was.
Yeah.
Heartbreakers. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm watching the Royal Tenenbaums now because I've never seen it, and now I've got to watch Heartbreakers. This is gonna blow my mind because I was afraid of that man.
Yeah. No, these are two non-scary Gene Hackman
Yeah,
movies.
100%.
Yeah, he was something else.
Yes, R.I.P. Nichols originally conceived British actor Adrian Lester in the role of Agador, but reworked the role after he and Lester came to mutual agreement that showing a black person in the role of a housekeeper would connote racist undertones. I also think that
Hank
David
Azaria.
Allen
Oh.
Greer was also considered as well. So,
Interesting.
yeah. But uh, yes, I get it. Like, but it would have been cool to have like a black character, especially if we're down in South Beach or
Mhm.
in Miami. Why not? But Hank Azaria did a great job. So,
Hank Azaria, I mean, I totally forgot he was in this movie, first of all, because I know him from like all those voices on The Simpsons. He really put some oomph into that role, and hearing that he like, did the research that he did to make the role as accurate as possible. But David Allen Greer would have crushed it. I love David Allen Greer on In Living Color and other things. I think he would have crushed that Spartacus
yeah.
character.
I would
So,
have loved it, but I'm not used to seeing like a character who's black in the gear world that's not presented as like DL. So that would have been an interesting mix to have.
yeah. Well, Hank Azaria is so like his range is hilarious because what was it? What was the character in Anesthesia that he was the bat?
Bartok.
Bartok, yeah. Just
Oh,
that voice and then this one. So
Did
yeah,
hilarious.
right.
you
It's just
know?
the
Sorry.
Uh-huh.
Did you know that he was like really, really good friends with Matthew Perry, like one of Matthew Perry's best friends?
Had
Yeah, that
no
sounds right. Yeah.
And they
idea.
came up together like as comedic actors. And so Matthew Perry talks a lot about Hank Azaria in his book.
You know
Yeah.
what I you said Matthew Perry and I was like, "Oh wow." And then when you said comedic actors, I had to take a step back. Girl, why I was thinking Luke Perry in my head.
Oh yeah. Very
I
different.
said that's very on that, girl. I didn't know that. But Matthew Perry makes a lot more
Yeah.
sense now that you say
Yeah.
that.
There's the funny
Okay.
Perry, there's the serious Perry.
Yeah, because it's like comedy.
Yeah.
I love that Agador was partly based on Judy Garland's dresser. So now I've got to go look at
Yes.
who her dresser
Yeah.
was
And Hank
because,
Azaria did say that he had worked up different versions of Agador. One was more understated, barely obviously gay, almost a street tough character. And then one was the character that ended up in the movie. And he said that both felt real to him. He had grown up with Puerto Rican street queens who were very effeminate and flamboyant, and others who weren't. So he kind of tried both versions for a friend who worked as a drag queen and kind of had their input on which character he should go with.
That really fascinated me because I thought like Hank Azaria, I think he's straight. Is he straight? I'm not sure.
yes, he was married
Yes.
to Helen Hunt
Okay.
for a long time.
So I had the impression, I mean, so I see this guy in this 1996 movie who is very effeminate, has the short shorts, has a very thick, I guess, Guatemalan accent. I just thought like, oh, Hank Azaria is just came up with a character and that was it. So to see that he actually talked with people that he grew up with and to make sure that it was accurate, it was like, oh, okay, that adds an interesting layer to this.
And he also said it wasn't like until halfway through the production before he realized that he was literally just playing his grandma. Like
Oh,
that was the character.
okay.
Like down to the voice and everything. He said
Yeah.
he was channeling his grandma.
Wait, does Hank Azaria have some Guatemalan in him? Like the
He's
what?
I don't know what his
I'll look it up.
ethnicity is, but I'm assuming it's got to be some sort of Latino
Okay, I've
vibes
just always
there.
looked at him and saw white, so I didn't know.
It doesn't surprise me that his grandmother is essentially who he was playing because most little gay boys who are like, I'm going to dress up in drag, they're imitating their grandmother
Yeah.
because she's typically the funny one for them.
Yeah,
I did not know that he actually practiced this role, though. I was like, oh, okay. He's doing something out there.
he took it seriously.
Apparently, he is of Sephardic Jewish descent. So his family originally is from Spain.
Oh,
Oh,
so not Latino, but Hispanic.
Correct.
okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
Interesting.
We're learning all sorts of things today.
Lots
Yeah,
of new things.
damn, Hank Azaria. How are you so layered as a person?
Right? So
Well,
talented.
I wonder how much money, because like we've learned watching that Real Housewives of Beverly Hills that what
Jennifer
is that?
Tilly.
Jennifer Tilly has that Simpsons money for real, for real. I just wonder how much money he really has
Yeah.
from
Got to
all
be
the
a good
his
amount.
a good amount, yeah.
Yeah, because there's like a 90 million episodes of The Simpsons, and I would assume that he's getting a good chunk of change for each one, especially when you factor in reruns. Like
Yeah.
I would like to think he's making a decent living off of it.
I don't think that man has to work again in his
Yeah,
life,
probably not. Probably not.
honestly. All right,
Hmm.
Jackie, let's dive into the movie.
Here we go. So we start out, we have this establishing shot where we see South Beach, and then we kind of focus in on the Birdcage, which is a drag nightclub. There's a performance going on, and then backstage, Starina, who is Albert's drag character, is getting ready, but she is not feeling the performance tonight. There's too many things going on. She's overwhelmed. And so then we kind of discover that Armand, who is the club owner and he's schmoozing everyone in the front of the house, is Albert's partner. And so Armand has to go backstage and kind of talk Albert down so he
Hmm.
can go on.
We get the feeling that this is a everyday occurrence. This is not unusual,
Yeah.
and so he's got to go.
And Agador is just like fussing around him, like the whole time, just fussing, 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 trying to calm him down, but really probably just adding to the chaotic energy that is backstage. But
Hmm.
one of my favorite things that like stuck with me from Y2K is I just give him a little parent and you
Oh
get
yeah,
one
I
before
know
and
you're
one
gonna say that.
after. And Armand's like, what the fuck are you giving him? What is this medication you have him on? And he's like, oh, it's just aspirin A, scratch off the A and the S.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah. It was a great joke. Loved it. It's Pirin medication.
yes.
That's
Why
the
is it
greatest.
that I didn't get that till you just said that? Like I just figured when he said he took the A and S, I just thought like the initials were on there, but now I get the parent. Okay.
Yeah. No, no, no. It took me a
Over
while to get it
over
too.
my head.
Yeah. No, I had to take a second, and then once I got it, like as the movie kept going, I was just laughing out loud
Yeah.
because I thought it was a great joke.
We
Every once
were
in a while, I'm like, I need my parent tablets. Like, I still use it to this day.
we were talking about one of our other episodes more recently because we were watching the drag show happening. They're singing "We Are Family," but they're lip singing. And I think the very first time I ever went to a drag show, I was like, I didn't understand that they don't actually sing. So I was very upset. I was like, wait a minute.
that's part of the art. Yeah, having gone to a couple of drag shows that AJ has brought me to, it's yeah. I mean, it's more about. It
The
seems like it's more about the
performance.
costume
Yes.
and just
Yeah.
putting on the character than actually having singing talent. But AJ, I mean, you've been to a lot more drag shows, so you can attest to that more than I
I
can.
take offense to everything you all just said. I sing live in my drag
There
shows.
we go.
Thank you very
Oh,
much.
Well, well, the one that I went to, I think the first one, I went to a
Mhm.
bunch in New York and I went to one at Lips. I think Lips might have been the first one. And I was just like, oh, so they're not really singing. Okay.
I know
I'll,
I haven't I'm not caught up on Drag Race, but I know Jan from who was one of the contestants on a season of RuPaul's Drag Race. She sings and she is a beautiful singer, and so is Brooklyn Heights.
Yeah.
I went to their Christmas performance and it was just beautiful when they were singing and they sang live.
There's some performers, they sing live, some lip sync, some you can tell don't know the words to a
Yep.
song. Like a few of
yes.
those girls in the opening, I was like, y'all don't know the song, but they were using the mic to cover their faces.
oh man.
Yes. See, I'm fine with the lip singing. I just didn't know at the time,
Mhm.
like my very first show. But I'm not okay with you're not doing if you're going to do a performance, you better do it right. You better know the
Yeah.
words. You better like
Yeah.
you have to
Yeah.
make me feel like, oh shit, they're not they weren't singing. I thought they
Mhm.
were. That's what I want.
Yeah, give you your money's worth. I get that. I
Right.
get that.
Well, and especially you're in a movie. You couldn't do the bare minimum, which is memorize this song.
Iconic song
We
at that.
don't
It's
Yeah.
know what the circumstances are. I'll give them that. We don't know if like
Maybe it was a
if they just
direction that was given to
right,
them.
right. Maybe
right.
they just got hired randomly. We don't know.
Okay.
Right.
You don't
I'm a
know. You can always say chicken tuna, shalabanga, something. Make up words and it'll fit into that song. We got you.
Also, is "We Are Family" the only song that this drag club knows? Because I think it's like in the beginning of the movie, at the end of the movie. I think that's the only
I
song
don't
that they know how to
know
play.
if the budget we have learned on this show that
Mhm.
sometimes to get the rights to songs
Yeah, I
can take a
figured.
lot out of the budget. So I'm
Yeah,
wondering if like we got cleared for We Are Family and that's it.
there
We're
you
gonna
go.
ride it
That
till the wheels fall off.
right,
Thank
right.
you, Sister Sledge. Thank
Don't
you.
ask me for nothing. But apparently, there is original music by Stephen Sondheim. And Stephen said it was fun to write. It takes all kinds. The song was meant to play over the opening titles, but when Nichols heard We Are Family by Sister Sledge, he changed his mind. So there we go. This whole We Are Family thing was added last minute. So that's why the
Hmm.
girls didn't have enough time to get it together. So,
I see. I see.
That makes
And they
sense.
all seem like a family, so it's
Yes.
yeah.
very appropriate.
So Starina goes on. She's fabulous. She's a comedy queen, so she tells jokes. She's entertaining the crowd, and there are so many references to the Kennedys in this opening
Yes,
scene.
Yes.
I wrote
I'm
that
like,
down in my notes too. Yeah,
I'm like,
But a
do
lot
all
of
the Kennedys live in South Beach now?
Well, there's a lot of
apparently.
political name drops. First and
Yes.
foremost, it was kind of wild to me that there was a Jeb Bush, multiple Jeb Bush drops
Yeah,
when I'm like, I don't even think at that time period I even knew who the fuck Jeb Bush was.
right. Nobody did. I mean, maybe he was governor of Florida or sort
I
of
don't know if he
in
was
politics
governor
during that
yet.
time.
He became governor.
I feel like he was governor when his brother ran for president in 2000. He
He
was definitely
was, but
by then.
he became governor, I want to say maybe when we were in middle school, Jackie,
I don't
because I remember the election.
99.
So, okay, high school then. All
Yeah,
right.
99 is when he first became governor.
correct.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So right as the 2000 election was going on. Okay, okay,
So I
gotcha.
guess he was like in the political scene. I'm sure he was like a senator.
Well, because their dad was
Yeah.
president. So
Yeah,
that's
Yeah. But there
yeah,
was
probably why.
Kennedys. They mentioned Clinton.
Yeah.
They
yeah.
mentioned
Like,
Bob Dole.
Yes.
oh, but only at the ending scene where
Yes.
Yeah.
one
He's
of the
like,
drag
Bob Dole
performers was
is
like, "Oh,
so
Bob Dole is gorgeous."
ew. Ewy. Oh gosh, I was trying to remember what I was gonna say. Now it's gone. But oh yeah, Jeb Bush. It was when we were in college because we did a sit-in when they lost all those ballots when we had the
Mm,
recount.
the hanging
Hmm.
And
chads.
so all the people at my school went and we did a sit-in at the Capitol because we were in Tallahassee. That bitch was too
Wow.
scared to come out.
Damn.
Fucking Jeb Bush. And who would have thought I would be wishing for the Bushes today? Isn't that sad?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, we didn't know how
Wrong.
good we had it.
We didn't know how bad good we had
Yeah,
it.
right, right, exactly. There's good and then there's bad good. The Bushes weren't
Yeah.
bad good.
I love how literally I'm looking at this film and not a goddamn thing in South Beach has changed. Like it
Yeah.
looks exactly how it looked in this movie, still to this
Yes.
Wow.
day. Maybe just a few tweaks, but
You mean
like
it's not just sand?
no.
That sounds about right. Yeah, as I told you, I've only been to. I mean, my last time I was in Miami was for my honeymoon a couple years ago. I don't know if that we were in the South Beach area, but yeah, no, I'm not too familiar with that. So that's interesting that it kind of
It's
hasn't changed.
well the like I think they try to keep it's very the Art Deco vibe.
Right,
It's just a part of what the aesthetic is of South
Hmm.
right,
Beach. So a
right.
lot of the buildings are older. And
It's
by the
kind of
way,
like Palm Springs. Like they always try to keep really
keep it the
true to
same.
its
Yeah.
Hmm.
roots.
Fine.
So after Starina's performance, she's spinning. She's accusing Armand of having an affair because they both drink red and he has a bottle of white chilling. She thinks that she's too old for the spotlight. He's gonna find a newer model, like all the things. And he's like, calm down, which I don't understand. Why are you not telling her your son's in town? Like, she is very obviously a part of Val's life. Val
Be
is the villain in this movie.
He is, and I think he doesn't tell him about it because he knows that he's gonna go off the deep. He wanted him to go perform.
Yeah.
So that's why he kept it quiet. Plus, Val told him that he just wanted to talk to him.
Which is
So
also villain. How long has Albert been a part of your family and you're not going to share this wonderful news with your father and his partner? Like, what the fuck?
I
Yeah.
think Val has gone out into so Val is 20 years old. He is in well, I'm guessing he's almost done with college. He has met a girl. He comes home. He tells his dad he's coming literally for the night, essentially. And I really think that we have to also look at the time period, right? Like his parents he loves his parents, but to the outside world, this is a very different family dynamic. And I think even his dad, he talks about references like when he went to school, his dad told him, if your teacher asks what I do, say I'm a businessman. So they've
Right.
already, yes, they're living in a neighborhood, an area where it's more open and people maybe have
Accepting.
yeah, more accepting in their community. But now Val has gone out into the outside world. He's probably gone to some Ivy League, some very stuffy, conservative. I mean, for him to meet this damn waspy girl, he's been in a different environment. And I think he is trying to navigate that. And we do see that arc through from the movie from the beginning to the end where it's almost like he's reminded of where he comes from, who he is, who
Right.
his family is, and he comes to full acceptance. But I do think a lot of the stuff that comes out from that is him trying to find a place to fit, which is very interesting because he is not a gay character, but some of the things that are happening to him or the way that he's expressing himself could be mirrored to somebody who is in the closet trying to navigate the world. That's how I perceived it. And also his questions about like what I don't think that they really should didn't dive into that I think they should have was this whole the boy clearly has questions about his birth mom,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Like he had a full family life and he was very loved, but there is this longing about his mother. Like you could see that come in little pieces throughout the movie. So I'm wondering if that also is a part of it. But it does feel like he's ashamed, and that is like heartbreaking to see.
Yeah. It's interesting to see the internet in conversation about this movie nowadays be divided on how to view Val. There are some people who understand what he's going through growing up, having parents who are different than others in the outside world and can be more sympathetic to Val because of that. And then there are others who understandably are like, oh, well, you're asking your dad and his partner to not be themselves, and we just don't have much tolerance for that nowadays when it's, I would think, much more safer to be gay than it was back in the 90s. So,
No,
it's interesting how people have divided
It's
opinions on
not.
this.
no,
Oh no, it's
it's
not.
not.
Never mind, never mind. AJ, yeah,
It's
go ahead.
not safer. I think people have more of under like a it's not as shock and awe, I guess you could say, from a media standpoint. But
Right, 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 right.
it's probably more dangerous now than ever with the regime that we're under,
I
unfortunately.
didn't think about that. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, this movie, just the character, Val himself, Val has a lot of issues that we should be talking about. Hey, you need to go to therapy for that.
Hmm.
Maybe law school wasn't the place for you to go to just yet. Because there's a lot of things that, like you, I feel are not addressed in the movie that should be addressed far more directly. But then that makes me feel like, hey, at this point in time in life, the time period they were in, the movie itself is already like, whoa, it's people who are going to play gay. This is crazy. But I just could not find myself loving Val at all. I'm
No.
just like, oh, you're bad. Like to get from where you came from to leave your home and then come back and bring all of that vitriol with you, whether
Yeah.
you meant to do it subliminally or not, and there were aggressions that were a part of this. I'm like, ooh, ick. I don't like him at all.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like, this is your safe space. This is your home. This is where you feel most comfortable with your family and everyone is accepted. And then you're just going to bring not only people that don't have exposure to gay people, but like someone who is actively working against people like your fathers. Like, it's mind-boggling.
The funny thing to me, like the way that I can conflate this too, is if you think about a lot of white people who have black caretakers who have raised them their entire lives, right? Who they have much love for. And then they go out into the real world and they see their privilege or they know what their privilege is, and
Mm.
then denounce and hate on black people when
Mm.
they had a black person raising them
Hmm.
Wow.
because of that relationship or that proximity to privilege. And I could
Hmm.
imagine again that this kid who might even have had, like you said, needed to go to therapy, who had probably resentment because he went to school and everybody had the mom and the dad, and he didn't have that. He was loved, but he didn't have the typical, and probably craved that and
Yeah.
went out into this world, had his proximity to privilege, and is almost angry about it and is taking it
Mm.
out in that way. Why would he go find the most conservative woman to be with? It's like he was craving that stability and he went the complete opposite. I'm
But
sure.
Barbara seemed more accepting than Val even was of his
Mm.
parents.
Good
Yeah.
point. Good
Yes,
point.
because look at who her parents are.
Oh, they were batshit fucking crazy.
Yeah, yeah, especially Gene
So she,
Hackman.
so
Oh
she's
my
grown up
God.
with these very strict, everything like everything matters about how things are perceived before how much they care about their actual child. So
Yeah,
to see loving parents from her boyfriend's loving parents, she could see that. He
yeah,
can't see that because he's got shit that he can't get through
yeah.
and he
Right.
needs to go to therapy for.
Right.
So I could see him like wanting a career in politics and almost kind of hating his parents because they're going to always be a hindrance to him. They're a hindrance to him being able to marry into this waspy family.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of like anger underneath all this stuff.
Yeah. Val doesn't want to stand out. I think he just has this. subconscious thing of like, oh, what's it like to be normal?
Right.
And
He's
you know.
weak. He's a pussy ass bitch.
Val is
Yes.
giving very Caitlyn Jenner energy throughout the
Yes.
entire
Yes.
Wow.
movie.
Yes.
Ugh.
Because
So,
at the end of the day, you are trans, but you haven't unpacked your white male issues
yeah.
Yeah.
and unlearned some shit. So
Right. Do you guys think
wild.
he looks 20? I don't think he looks 20. I think he looks maybe
No,
like
but
10 years older.
this is the 90s. He probably was 20s and it still will look like he's old.
I
That's true.
I saw him. I was like, Is that Big Girls Don't Cry? They get
Yes,
even?" And then I was like, "Yes,
yes.
that is."
Yes.
There is this
Love that.
very niche movie called Big Girls Don't Cry, They Get Even, and he plays like the one of the is he
Older
the brother?
brothers.
Yeah, the brother in it.
Is that the movie with Hilary Swank, or am I getting it confused with
That's
Boys Don't
Boys Don't
That's Boys
Cry.
Don't
This
Cry.
Boys
Boys
Don't
Don't Cry?
Cry.
There,
Yeah.
never mind.
Very different vibes.
I imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie Big Girls Don't Cry came out in 91. And actually, funny enough, the guy who plays Corey from Boy Meets World is in it when he's little.
Yeah,
What's his
Ben
name?
Savage.
Ben
Ben
Savage.
Savage. Wow. All right. Gotta
Yeah,
check that out.
Dan Futterman is in that, but I'm gonna find out. He's 58 years old. He was born in 1967.
Mm.
Who wants to do quick math? 1996 minus 1967.
Like 30, like 29.
So he was 9 years older than the character he was
Yeah.
playing.
How old was
Then
Callista?
Let's see.
at that time,
And what's funny is that Callista
wasn't
and
this before
him,
Ally McBeal?
it was Ally
Yeah.
McBeal was like late 90s that came
Yeah.
out.
Did you have feelings seeing Callista? Are you and Callista cool, Danielle?
Even though she has stolen my man.
Yes.
Is this an Ally McBeal reference that I'm not getting right now? Or
No, she's married to Harrison Ford, who is
Mm.
Danielle's one and only.
That's
oh,
that's my man. My
That
man,
is
my
a
man, my
fine piece of
man.
man. That is a fine piece of man.
they are married. Wow, that's a massive
They
age
got me.
difference.
2010 is when I went into cardiac arrest because that bitch stole my man, her thin
Oh man.
ass.
Wait, how?
But
What's the age? What's the age difference on Calista and Harrison? I did not
it's a
expect them to
lot.
be good.
She's 60 and he's 80 something.
Yeah.
Just a couple of years off.
So
Okay.
she was born in 1964. So just a few, she was in her mid 20s when this
22.
came out. But the funny thing is that the both of them were in a TV show called Brothers and Sisters, and I believe he was initially cast to play her love interest in the beginning, but they had to change it. And then towards the end of the show, they brought him back and he ended up playing her love interest, which I thought was a nice little
Harrison and Calista,
reunion.
or
No, Callista and Dan Featherman, who
okay,
plays in this
okay.
movie.
All
And
right.
Brothers and Sisters is amazing, by the
It
way.
is such a good show. And I love how he's just like, he's literally like just the like the blatant random white man in any movie as a love interest. Because I think he comes at the end of Under the Tuscan Sun as well.
Does he?
And
I
He
I,
love that
dies.
movie.
and he's also in Enough, I think, with J-Lo.
Oh.
So
He isn't
Nice.
enough.
he just plays that random, not special,
Yeah,
random
he's
white
very
man.
vanilla.
Yes.
Bland Wonder Bread white guy. Put Dan
Yes.
Futterman in
Yes.
there.
It's like he's hot, he's got good arm candy, but he's very forgettable, so
Yes.
he doesn't take the room.
Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's funny.
So Val tells Armand he's getting married, explains that Barbara is Senator Kevin Keeley's daughter, a very staunch conservative politician from Ohio. And so he asks to tone down his lifestyle and also, by the way, pretend to be straight because they're coming to visit.
Hmm.
I think
So
that he's
easy.
too old to be this much of an asshole.
So, meanwhile, back in Ohio, Senator Keeley is dealing with a bit of a scandal. His fellow co-founder of the Coalition for Moral Order, which sounds heartbreakingly similar to some of the things that we are seeing present day.
Right.
which is so upsetting, has died under suspicious circumstances involving an underage prostitute.
Okay. When he gets his phone call and he finds out that this senator has been found dead. And so he's like, prostitute, black.
Right? Yeah.
Like I was like, oh.
I was stunned by how racist this guy was.
Yes.
I wasn't stunned, but it was just like, oh man, this was so real. This is the real reaction. And then he goes later and says, this is a nightmare. Plus, we're gonna lose the blacks, the votes. I'm like, first and foremost, we all know you ain't never had the blacks. What are we talking about? And
The fact
I
that he
know they
said
would,
blacks.
right. They were never concerned about having the black vote. Give me a break.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
But yeah, there's some things that cringe. But the actress who plays the said prostitute
Trina
hooker
McGee.
is Trina McGee from Boy Meets World, which
I
I never caught that before.
I think, and I mean, as I watched her, I think I recalled her mentioning it on her Pod Meets World interview that she was in the Birdcage. But yeah, she appears for a brief second as didn't they name the character? Isn't her name like Nuntumba or some like offensive African
So
name?
bad. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, it makes me feel weird. I hate it.
God.
Yeah. I know
No,
it's supposed to be like an over exaggeration. It's a joke, but it's just like, not
yeah,
liking that. Not liking that.
yeah, that didn't age well.
No.
So, and meanwhile, Barbara has lied, set the stage to her parents about who Val's parents are. And
Mm.
she says that they're cultural attaches from Greece.
I love I love that they make Barbara's family in very muted tones
Hmm.
in their makeup. Their even Callista's hair color is like this almost like grayish color.
Dishwater.
It's gross.
Bleak.
They're all wearing grays, which is such a great thing that when they go to Miami and you see the colors and the vibrancy in comparison, it's just
Yep.
it vastly tells that story of how different these people are in
Yeah.
comparison and how like overcast and dreary Ohio is because it's the middle of the winter and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah. That's an interesting touch. I didn't think about that. That's actually a great contrast.
Yeah.
I loved a lot of the wardrobe and fashion choices that they had in this because everybody who's down in Florida, I would love to just be in a skinny bikini like them all the time.
Mm. Mm.
Yes, you definitely get that in South Beach 100%. Them people don't
Definitely.
wear no fucking clothes down there. You feel
Right?
overdressed.
Oh my God.
Also, I love that Robin Williams is wearing his like wife beater. I don't know if you guys have seen that the white women are back at it again, claiming the wife beaters, the little Hanes wife beaters that people, black community been wearing forever.
Right.
Now all of a sudden Kylie Jenner wore it to I think some Knicks games and everyone's going crazy going to go buy the little Hanes little boys tank tops. I'm like, y'all, this is we've all everybody knows what a fucking wife beater is. Like, give me a fucking break.
I have a picture from Warped Tour 1999 where I'm wearing one. It is not a new concept.
I was trying to find mine. I could have sworn I had one for like decades, but I don't have one anymore, and I'm so sad.
You know what? I said white women are back at it again. I'm gonna say Gen Z is white women are
Yes.
back at it again. Let me
Yeah.
clarify, because I know a late 90s, early 90s babe knows what a fucking wife beater is. Like,
Mm.
what are we playing at here?
It's
Mhm.
always a war with the words. Right now, I'm learning with my nephews and niece there's outdoor expression time, which is just going for a walk. So I have learned.
I
Wow.
don't even have words for that.
Why do we have
So
Now,
to make it so much longer? Like, why is it a whole conversation just to say I'm going for a walk?
yeah, yeah,
outdoor expression time. Give me a
yeah.
fucking
I'm
break.
getting
Mhm.
combination bread therapy. No, you mean a sandwich? You're making a sandwich? God. But can I ask what attaché? What does attaché mean? Like cultural attaché?
I have no clue. Let
I don't know.
me
I
Google
figured it was
it.
some sort of like embassy situation or
Mm.
a designer. I don't know. I didn't even think
I
about
don't
it. I was like, that sounds right.
Let's see. Oh, it is Danielle, you were right. A diplomat or diplomat-related specialist assigned to a mission which focuses on cultural matters and exchange.
Wow.
Wow. I
Oh.
love
I'll
that.
take 200, Alex.
Yeah. I mean, I would say cultural ambassador is simple, but actually,
Yeah.
I like cultural attaché. This sounds
Attaché.
better.
Attaché.
Yeah, sounds more, sounds more
Next to
dignified.
the stage, cultural attaché.
Great drag name. Great drag name.
So now we see this is where I just it breaks my heart. Val insists that Albert shouldn't be around during the visit. Armand has to tell Albert. Albert is so hurt and like Nathan Lane gives such heart to this
Yeah.
character
Yeah.
and all Albert is doing is being true to himself. And he's just asking people keep asking him to conform to this box he's never going to fit in.
Right. And I think it's so cute that his nickname for Val is Piglet, and he's
Yes.
so excited that Val is home and he's getting a cake. He's doing all these things, and but
I
I
was
do.
confused. I would, to be honest, I was confused. Maybe I was a little tired. I actually thought he meant like a real piglet was coming by. I was like, ah, okay, here we go. But no, it took me a minute to realize it was a nickname for Val.
I do love that Armand at first tells Val to like, I work so hard to be who I am. I'm not going
Yes.
back there.
Yeah, yeah,
But, every parent for their child wants life to be easier for them and to help them. And
yeah.
so he does this. But when he sees how hurt this makes Albert, he does say, fuck it. If I had to choose between Albert and this shit, I picked Albert. So
Hmm.
he tells Albert to come. And now they're going to say he's an uncle because what they end up doing, they're saying that this is not going to work without maybe having like a woman there to kind of
Right.
distract or detract from Albert being there. And
Mhm.
so Val kind of throws it out there that maybe his real mother will do it. So what I was curious about is like they never really say exactly how the hell this happened. Like I wasn't sure if Armand
I
wasn't out
feel
yet and he had a relationship with a woman, or if he was with Albert first, or
I
like,
feel like it was a donor situation. That's what it felt like to me because she was saying she's never been motherly. It felt very transactional, like
yeah.
her having Val.
Well,
But I thought, God,
no, it's okay. No, I'm just remembering that exchange in the office
yeah.
before Robin and the mom was about to get hot and heavy. Didn't he mention that like the only experience that he had with a woman was with her between 2:30 and 3:45 a.m. and it was twice. Like, so I don't know if that affects what we're talking about, but like,
Because yeah, she talked the way she was talking about it because they were in a production of a show together,
right.
and she paid someone because she like wasn't like she had a thing for him. And so it's almost like he kind of gave it a go kind of
Yeah.
thing. I'm not really sure if he was with. I don't I'm assuming he wasn't with Albert yet. And
Hmm.
so when he talks about her, he says that she was young and poor. So and so then she has a business and she says the money you gave me. So it's almost like he paid her to go away. Like
Yeah.
I'll take the baby.
Hmm.
You got pregnant, fine. So I don't know if it was a donor situation, but it was definitely like I'm not ready to be a
Transactional.
mom.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, fine. Here's some money. I want my son. And then maybe Albert came into the picture later, a little bit
It
later
seems
on.
like that's the way it
Yeah.
went. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I get the feeling is that happens because I'm like, I was trying to develop a backstory for Armin of
I
like,
do
okay,
too.
Like it's the weirdest thing. I was like, was she his beard? Like, what was going on here that led them to having the baby? Because I'm
Yeah,
just like, just randomly, you're just like, let's do it, let's figure it out.
right.
And I don't know, as a gay man, I don't think that would ever cross my mind. But this was also the point around where Armin became the true villain of the movie for me.
Mm.
And I was just like, ooh, I don't like you at all. The fact that you even contemplated making your partner go back in the closet, I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
And I think that comes from me. I have been introduced as an uncle so many times when I'm like, dude, we are fucking. Tell them.
Mm. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah,
I can imagine.
it's
Oh
weird.
man.
It's a little weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not after decades. Like clearly they've been together as long as Val has been alive. So that's 2 decades with someone.
Right,
You gotta be
right.
fucking kidding me. Yeah, they should
Yeah.
question where they went wrong with Val here. Because
Yeah.
he hates his self and his family.
Well, and okay, so for 20 years, Val has seemingly no contact with his birth mother.
Yeah, he's never
But
even met
then
her.
all of a sudden, it's like, oh, we need to put on the charade. Let me ring her up real quick. Like, it would seem like a really easy decision for them to make, and that she wasn't that hard to get a hold of, and that they have a fairly decent relationship.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm.
But I would be like, I feel like he was curious about her, but I'd be pissed like, bitch, you just gave me up. You just
Yeah,
gave me up.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you were young then, but you literally took money. You gave me up,
yeah.
and you haven't come to
You took
ch
away the perfect normal life that I was hoping to have.
right, and you never checked on me once.
Yeah.
Right.
Haven't checked on me once.
Yeah.
But then that speaks to that internalized hate, where it's
Yeah,
like, wow, you hate your family or yourself so much that you would get a random woman you've never met in your life to
right.
step in for this most important thing.
And it's funny because I think kids do this all the time. They're always pissed at the parent that stayed and never have that same kind of heat for the parent who fucking disappeared. So,
Yeah.
like, he's got all this stuff with his real mother, essentially, who is Albert. And here we are fangirling for this bitch that popped a squat, gave you up, and went about her business.
Hmm.
Hmm. Hmm.
Wild.
I
So
know.
So now they're trying to get all this stuff together because what ends up happening is that because the press is up their ass, they decide we've got to get out of town because
Hmm.
Barbara has laid it on to her parents that she wants to get married. She's only 20. Her parents are like, "Girl, we ain't got time for this. Let's get through this election cycle and then we'll talk about this marriage." But now they're like, maybe we should look into this marriage because we need some press. Because the mom is like, oh, let's have like a white wedding. And I'm like, what?
What
When
does
you
that mean?
say
Does that
white
mean just a
wedding,
wedding with white people, or is it just like a white colored wedding?
I think it's just like a traditional white wedding, is what they were trying
Okay.
to get at. So they decide to like dodge and get out of town. And so they go down to Miami, and this is where like the whole scheme is like, we've got to put on this thing for tonight.
Yeah.
So his
But like
mom,
they escape in the dark of the night, and
yeah,
like there's this whole subplot with like these a reporter from the Inquirer paying off the driver to find out where they're going. But then there's like some sort of news station that record accidentally records the interaction, but they have some like CIA type level type shit that they can zoom in and like focus on that particular conversation that's happening to also find out where Senator Keeley's going. Like I'm like, do we need all of this?
no.
Probably not.
But also, the National Enquirer reporters are following them because they had asked the driver.
Hmm.
And so one of the guys, the two reporters, one of the guys, if I don't know if I blinked and missed it, but I felt like one of them was falling asleep and the other one was like putting his arm around him. And then, like, when he woke up, he was like, I don't know if I
I
missed that
didn't
or
see
saw that.
that.
I have
Mm-mm.
to go back and watch it because there was like a very odd interaction between the two. Like the guy was like completely oblivious and the other guy was like very attentive. So I was like, what's
Yeah.
happening?
Weird.
Is this a subplot that I missed? So they're trying to get the scoop on like why the hell this family is coming to Miami. And so they decide at last minute that they're going to actually try to get Nick's having Catherine, the bio mom, come because she's stuck in traffic. And next thing we know, Albert comes out in full drag. And let me tell you, the senator, he loves her. He eating that shit up.
He
And
is,
his
but before
wife.
we get there, we
Mhm.
have to prep the space.
Oh, right. They have to get rid of tone things down.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like he has a lot of more artwork more on the flamboyant side.
Lot of
And
phallic statues. Yeah.
yes, everything comes down. They put this giant ass cross up on the wall.
Yeah.
I love that the first thing was a moose head and they
Yeah.
Yes.
exchanged it. But my favorite
Yeah.
part of the whole movie was that the books that they get are the Nancy Drew series, and I was like, classic.
Is that a thing with like straight men or straight couples? Is that they're obsessed with Nancy
I
Drew
don't
books?
know if it's a thing for straight men and straight couples, but it's a thing for Danielle. I got the whole collection, baby. I 1 to 100
I grew up with the
Nancy
books. I
Drew.
remember reading the books. I just didn't know it was like, oh yeah, have these books and it'll show you're as straight as an arrow, you know?
I don't
Yeah.
think so. I
I
just
guess a
think they just,
woman's touch, that was what they
yeah.
could, in their minds, that was
Yeah.
feminine, was Nancy Drew.
But the
Yeah.
dad, like, the senator eats it up because he's like, I love that they just keep it simple, nothing fancy with the books. Like, he likes that it has Nancy Drew.
And then
And
I
we also have Agador, who they're like trying to make this butler, and he's just a houseboy. He's there for vibes, he's there for a good time. He helps out, he
Mhm.
cleans, but it's his own style. And now he's been made to wear shoes, which make him fall down. He's happy
Yeah.
about that. He
Yeah.
can't cook. He's trying, but like Agador tries so hard because all he wants to do is be in the drag show. And
why
they
doesn't
keep holding the man down.
why doesn't Armand actually check in to see what the fuck he's cooking? Like, y'all should have been ordered food.
Mhm.
Yes. Like just dump it in pots and pans, make it look like you cooked it.
Right.
that is
Sweet and
what I
sour
was
peasant soup.
thinking.
Yay.
I was thinking that the whole time. I'm like, why didn't they just order takeout? Of
Right.
Yes.
everything you could have saved yourself. But I do have to say, the one queen who put that moose head up on the wall, I screamed. That was the moment of the movie where I was like, yes, because if you tell me to straight a space, I'm putting fur and animals everywhere.
Yep. Yep. The greatest bit ever. Like, take drag queens, take gay people, have them put together what they think is a straight person's house. Oh, here's a moose head, here's a couple of Playboy magazines. And it's almost accurate.
Yes.
I
It could not be
was
more obvious.
I was shocked how much Albert was saying like the most fucked up conservative shit. And at the end of the day, he was like confirmed that, oh, everything I said is how I feel.
Mm.
Like that was shocking to me.
Kill the
Yes.
babies, kill the mothers too.
Right?
It was Albert dressed as Medea saying that sent me for a loop. I was like, oh my God.
I think it's hilarious that Louise, the mom, was, or was it? Yeah, it's Louise. She was so jealous
Yes.
of Albert, of the mom, like because the dad, which now makes me question, because we all know that Grinder be fucking up during the RNC every time they come together. So we know there's a lot of closeted Republicans. So the fact that he was getting on so like peanut butter and jelly with Albert, and when the gig is up, the jig is up, and he's looking at Albert. Albert doesn't have his wig on, and
Yeah.
he's like, "I just don't understand. What are you
Yeah, he
saying?
just can't
Yes.
comprehend.
Hmm.
You are not a woman?"
It
Like
can't be. It's
he seemed
impossible.
he seemed more heartbroken about that than them being gay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
there are so many Republican men or men who think that way conservatively who do not realize they would probably be best friends with a lot of gay people
Yep.
just
Mm-hmm.
based on how they think.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
And I love the bit with the place settings.
With the boys in the bowl.
The boys of the bowls, and like, what are they doing? It looks like they're playing leapfrog, like dying.
Yeah.
That's
Put
a
some soup over
girl.
it quick.
Yeah.
I think that was a girl. I think you've
Go
got
get
girls
my
on
glasses.
yours.
Go get my glasses.
And I love how they don't explain that there's no other courses, that they're eating this horrible
Yeah.
peasant soup. And then, like,
There
he
were
forgot to
shrimp.
put the shrimp.
Fuck the
I don't know
shrimp.
why they didn't go to a restaurant. Like, why?
Yeah,
Oh,
like
well, you know what? It's
neutral.
because they can't be seen, apparently.
I'm
So.
sorry. You're telling me the Kennedys and Bushes frequent your drag club. You
Yeah.
don't have some sort of security or private room and like private entrance for them.
Right.
Yeah. And
That's
that goes into the other question of like how are these Kennedys and Bushes going into these drag clubs knowing their political stances?
yeah.
How do they get away with that? I mean, I
Well, they're
guess there's
Democrats, so it's supposedly not bad
But
for
Jeb
them.
wasn't.
no, the Bushes aren't
The
Democrats.
Bushes weren't at there.
Oh,
They
okay.
were going to stay at the Bushes. So,
Oh,
Got it.
and
I
these
didn't
were
know
the
Okay.
Mhm.
that.
younger Kennedys, so I don't think it mattered as much.
That's
I
fair.
don't know. I always
Yeah.
think of the whole Kennedy clan as like more conservatively minded Democrats, so I don't know. Hard to believe that they would get away with the drag
They're
thing without.
cursed. Who knows?
Yeah.
They
They
are.
are. Ugh.
So, but Robin Williams slip and fall during the shrimp scene was not planned. He
Yes.
actually fell, and Hank Azaria and Dan Futterman were holding back laughter as he
Mhm.
finished out the scene.
And
And
he
then,
was too. You can hear
yeah,
it in his inflection when he's talking. It's really funny.
And I didn't notice when I was watching the movie earlier, but like reading that note on the Google Doc, I literally had to watch the clip on YouTube like several times to see what you guys were talking about. And it's just great. I loved it. I mean, it's a testament to their acting abilities because I didn't know when I was watching. I just thought it was
yeah.
part of the movie.
So, and like Danielle said, the jig is finally up. For some reason, well, we know the reason. Val intercepts this call with his mom saying she's running behind. Armand has called her and told her not to come. So she's calling to confirm, am I still supposed to come? Val intercepts that call, tells her, no, you can still come. It's fine. And then like she shows up and she's here to play this motherly character. Meanwhile, Albert has already been playing the mother, and so that's when all of this confusion ensues.
They
And
should have just said I'm adopted and called it a
yeah,
day. Like that's my birth mom. They could have kept that going. I'm just
yeah,
Mhm.
saying. They gave up easily, but I think this was when Val finally realizes that he has put his both of his dads into such a position and he sees how hard Albert was trying and he's like so when they ask like who's your mom, he's like it's Albert. This is my
yes.
mother. And that's like his one saving grace in this whole goddamn movie is he finally gets to be a
Yeah,
decent
Val.
human being.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, the reporters have found them.
Yeah.
And so now we need an escape plan. And so I don't think we mentioned this before, but their apartment is over the Birdcage Club.
Mhm.
And so they're like, we got this. Armand and Albert are like, we got you. Which, okay, you're meeting these people. They are like negating your whole existence as a person, and you're still going to just happily help them out of the
Yeah,
club.
they didn't
I
deserve it.
think I think it's because they really love Barbara and they know that Val loves Barbara.
Yeah.
And that's how it always is. You have these horrible, racist, homophobic, hateful people and people on the other side that they're saying are so evil end up being kinder,
Yes.
nicer, everything
And more
in return,
accepting. Like,
more
we're
accepting.
accepting your homophobic conservative asses more than you'll ever accept us, and we're going to help you out the best we can. And so they take them down to the Birdcage. They dress them up in drag. We get a second reprise of We Are Family as we dance
Our
through the
favorite song.
club.
And Gene Hackman looks like a big old peppermint stick with that white wig
You
and
know, he looks like Barbara Bush. I was getting a little bit of Barbara Bush in drag.
Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
he looks so ugly. I'm sorry.
He,
Horrible.
he freaked me out a little bit.
This is when he came out in drag. I'm like, y'all did not talk to anybody who does drag because he came out looking like a brick. That man was
Yes.
terrible.
So did Barbara. What was
Yes.
she wearing?
What was that Liza Minnelli like basement rack wig that they had her in?
And Louise, what was she? Why did she not get like the full glam drag look? She looked like a like a Madonna-esque 19 early 80s one-shouldered t-shirt. Like
Yeah.
what is she doing?
It was
Yeah.
so weird.
It was such an odd thing. But they're able to get out of the club without being noticed because Catherine, the bio mom, she has her car, so nobody checks to see who these people are going.
Mhm.
But I love that he tells the driver, like, meet me on this corner, and the driver's like, okay, yeah, right. I'm like, did the driver ever get there? Like, I'm
Yeah.
thinking to myself, how did they get out? How
Question.
did they get to Jeb's house?
It's such an interesting way to end that portion of the movie. Like, I'm
Yes.
with you guys where I was sitting there. I was like, really? So they just get to leave and escape like nothing happened? But then I had to remember this was more for the safety of Armand and Albert because this whole movie is about passing. And if you
Yes.
can pass in a straight space or pass in a gay space, maybe you're okay. But for us who can't pass, it puts our lives in danger. So
Yeah,
then all of a sudden, this senator leaves this gay establishment and people find out about it. And there's two choices. The senator can either say, no, I accept them, or no, we need to burn that place down and attack
right,
everybody there because this is
Mhm.
evil.
right.
So, like, I had to like deal with that in my head where I'm like, oh, I want him to get outed so bad. And when the one reporter like looked back, I'm like, oh, they got him. And I'm like, no, really?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
I never looked at it from that perspective, but yeah, you're
Yeah.
so right. It is a lot about passing and it's not just gay, straight, but also the fact Jewish, Christian, because like
Mhm.
their last name is Goldman and then they try to say Coleman. So
Mhm.
like Val is literally trying to repress every single ism about him or
Yeah.
difference of himself
Yeah.
with these
Yeah.
people.
Bland white Christian. Like I
Yeah.
gotta put on this mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like we had such beautiful storytelling like the first two-thirds of the movie, and then the like last third feels so rushed.
It does. Yeah, I was surprised.
I like paused it at one point. I was like, I only have 10 minutes left, and they hadn't even gotten to the drag club yet or
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
escape. I'm like, how are we going to wrap this up in 10 minutes? And it's just like drag scene, wedding, done. And I'm like, how did we get here so quickly? I want
I know.
more
Right.
story. I want what happened after the drag show, what happened with the two parents' relationship, and like how they
Right.
come to accept each other
Mhm.
for this
Um,
wedding to move forward.
But I do think the pacing of this is because Mike Nichols wanted this to be like a play, the
Hmm.
way
Mhm.
that that it's framed. And so that makes me feel like that's why the flow is the way that it is, because
Mhm.
it's supposed to be essentially like a play. And he talks about that with how much improv he gave to Robin Williams and Nathan Lane, and how he also wanted to catch like every scene. So he required that Nathan Lane and Robin Williams filmed at least one good take of each scene sticking to the script before he allowed them to improvise. So he definitely wanted that pacing of that flow of a play. So that's why when I was watching it, I didn't think it was too fast because that's how it felt. It felt like I was watching a play.
But he also, in rehearsals, would let them improvise a lot and then
Mhm.
take the best pieces of that and kind of weave that into the script at times too,
Yeah.
Yeah.
to kind of
Generous.
get that collaborative effort.
Yeah, a very generous director because, there are a
Yeah.
lot of directors who are just be like, no, stick to the script. But,
Yeah.
the best ones are usually ones who can balance like that discipline, but also know that there are actors like a Robin, like a Nathan, who just need that space to experiment, to find different angles on their characters. So to have that director like Mike Nichols be an actor's director, I think it
Yes.
made the movie what it is today. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So
then,
go
yeah, go
ahead,
ahead.
Danielle.
No, I was gonna end
Okay.
it like,
So yeah, our final scene is, I think it's at a year later. I could have just made that up. But eventually we're at Val and Barbara's wedding. Both families are there, and like you can see Val's side is very obviously the drag family as well as his kind of adopted family. And I found it really fascinating that Agador was a groomsman. Like I felt like they didn't have a relationship like that. It was odd to me.
yeah, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, well,
Me
because I was
neither.
looking for him in like the
The
establishing
pews.
shot. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then I was like, where is Agador? Like, surely he's been invited to this wedding. I'm like, oh shit, he's up with Val.
Yeah.
Well, Val's an asshole, so he probably doesn't have a lot of friends.
Oh, that's
Very
true.
true.
That's
That's
true.
a good
And
point.
and Barbara probably had a ton of bridesmaids, so gotta fill them spaces, baby.
Fair. So, and then we see Barbara's side is very like conservative, like conservatively dressed. We see a lot of like implied senators and politicians on her side. But I mean, there were references to some acceptance because Val is wearing a yarmulke, so like very proudly displaying his Jewish heritage. So
Hmm.
it seems like they've at least worked through that.
Yeah, and they had a rabbi and a priest
Yes.
performing the
So
ceremony, so
all I can hope is that there was a work towards understanding of each other and
yeah.
accepting of the two families. And that is the birdcage.
We
Well,
did
can
it,
I,
y'all.
I wonder if it's okay to like just
Totally.
put out a couple of honorable mentions. I don't know if we mentioned this, maybe we did, but
Yeah.
probably like some of the greatest comedy I've ever seen is Robin Williams as Armand trying to straighten up, if you will, Nathan Lane as
Yes.
Albert. That's that scene with them outdoor at the restaurant where he's trying to get Albert to like walk like John Wayne, and Albert puts his own effeminate spin to it. And the irony of like, picking John Wayne because John Wayne
Yeah.
has the greatest reputation with, liberals, the queer community, etc. And also, oh my God, I laughed so hard when
The piercing of the toast.
the piercing of the toast. Yeah, that was great. Smear the toast. But no, he's
I
just
pierced
yeah, that was great. And then, oh my God, I laughed so hard when Nathan as Albert comes to terms with trying to pass as straight. He puts on the suit, and then you have this great silent moment where he's trying to sit down like a straight man in the suit, and Armand and Val are just looking at him, just like, what is this? What is going on? I laughed. So I just want to bring up
Well,
those
and during
testaments to
that,
Nathan Lane's talents. Yeah.
definitely.
Yes.
And during that scene, they're like pink socks. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like,
It could
I feel
it could work.
any man could rock a pink sock with
Yeah.
a suit. Like, that is not something that immediately you're going to see and be like, are
Yeah.
you,
I
is
think
I
this
but
a
I think that's from the lens of today. Like
yeah,
honestly,
I was gonna say
back
that.
then, yes, men wear pink now, and I think that was like more of also like something you saw in the 2000s too.
Mm.
Big ups to Cameron, but like it wasn't necessarily something we saw a lot. And
Yeah.
I think because of the homophobia, every little thing was perceived to be quote unquote gay and
Yeah.
wearing
yeah.
like everybody was looking for those big things that were gonna say, oh, that's it, you know? So I could see it being way more acceptable now, and back then I don't think so. I
Yeah,
would
like
have.
now look at all the straight men on Love Is Blind. They're all either wearing
Right.
colorful socks or just
Yeah.
Right.
not having any socks at all. But yeah, back then it was pretty
Back then,
boring.
no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You couldn't get away with it. Yeah.
That scene, I'm gonna tell you, was probably the hardest scene of the movie for me to watch. I got so frustrated. I actually just turned it off for a minute because I was like, this is not
Oh.
fucking funny to me.
Yeah.
And the reason why it wasn't is what Albert says in the scene when he walks out in the suit. He's like, I've got him the exact same suit and tie, and I'm still not good enough.
Yeah.
And that I was like, damn, you brought back my childhood with that.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Understandable. Yeah, that has to be very difficult.
Well, we did it, y'all. We
We
finished the
did.
movie. Let's see
Yeah.
if there's any more fun facts that we didn't get to. I think we got a good amount. We talked about the movie. Obviously, it takes place in South Beach, but not all of the movie was filmed in Miami. A lot of it primarily took place in LA. A lot of the exterior shots they got from Miami Beach. So let's see.
So this says I have follow-up questions that I need to Google because it
Okay.
says in the scene with Gene Hackman, when Gene Hackman is on the ladder, he gives the peace sign as a reference to Richard Nixon. Hackman was on Nixon's enemies list back in the 70s.
Hmm.
What beef did Gene Hackman have with Richard Nixon, I wonder? I'm Googling it
Richard
right now.
Nixon literally had beef with anybody. I mean, Nixon was the Trump of his day. I mean, he was a paranoid, power-hungry motherfucker. That's
But
how
not as
Watergate eventually, yeah, that's how Watergate eventually came to be. But yeah, no, he had an enemies list, and pretty much if you were Hollywood, if you were of liberal-minded, if you were
yeah.
black, I mean, you were on his enemies list.
I think the only thing standing in between Nixon being like a Trump is he wasn't charismatic. I
Hmm.
hate to even think that that man is charismatic in any way, but he more than Nixon 100%. And I think
Yeah,
the thing that really killed Nixon was that that election against Kennedy was televised. And so
Yep.
yes,
people were
Yes.
comparing like how beautiful JFK was until how ugly
Yes.
yeah,
Richard Nixon was.
Yep.
yeah.
JFK still gets my motor going. I can't believe they have Nixon out there. Like, you didn't put on a shred of makeup. Uh,
Oh,
I
I wish I was in my home office because I when I went to my dad was obsessed with the Kennedys and Camelot and all of that. So like it's very near and dear to my heart. And when I went to Washington DC, I found like this tiny little felt JFK and I bought it and I just carried it around so proudly everywhere I
mm,
went and he like is very proudly displayed in my office because I'm like JFK.
I feel like
oh.
every white grandma got a JFK in their kitchen, and every black grandma got a Martin Luther King
Yeah.
and Obama in theirs.
You know it. You know it.
Well,
Oh, yes.
before we dive into our today ratings, why don't you tell everybody where they can find your podcast, The Delicious Recap, on social?
Yeah, on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky. Just search the Delicious Recap. You'll see Steve Urkel, you'll see the Living Single Cast, you'll see Fresh Prince, you'll see that amazing photo that AJ put up, and that'll be us. So come find us, and we'd love to have you join the cult, if you will. The good
Uh,
kind of cult.
you want to join the Church of Blockbuster? Head over to
Yep.
No More Late Fees on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and Threads. And AJ, we'll start with you. What is your today rating of The Birdcage?
My today rating is a 1 day rental. That movie's going
Ooh.
back an hour after I leave the store with it.
Jeez.
Damn.
John?
Great comedic moments. Definitely some problematic stuff. Oh God. I would say maybe is it possible to give it like a 3-day rental?
No, 2 days or
Damn.
Or
five
Okay.
5
day.
All right. All right.
day.
I'm gonna say 5-day rental. I it's
Okay.
not my favorite movie, but I would definitely watch it again.
Jackie?
Okay. So we didn't really we talked about it a little bit, but Hank Azaria's performance in this movie, I just absolutely adore. I love that he put thought into his character. He did research. He consulted the community, it seems like. And I just all those little moments, the Perrin, the shoes make me fall down, come on, Gloria, as he takes the cassette out of the boombox. Like all of those little moments are so funny and just very small and compared because you're up against Robin Williams and you're up against Nathan Lane, and those are very big performances. And I just think for that reason, and just to watch Hank Azaria as Agador, I would do a would buy.
I think that this is a gay movie for straight people.
Yes.
It is, yeah. Unfortunately, it is.
I
AJ.
haven't known how to put that in words. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it is. It
So
is.
if you look back at, historically what this movie did, it opened doors. So I definitely give it props. The fact that, you have Robin Williams in this movie, it automatically makes it a classic because he
Yeah.
did again, yes, both him and Nathan Lane played these roles over the top, but when I look at some of the gay characteristics in other media and film, yes, it's over the top, but I do think that they did it respectfully.
Mhm.
And the fact that we are watching this movie how many years, 20 plus years later, and
Almost
it's still
30.
so,
Almost
yeah,
30, yeah.
almost 30
Yeah.
years, and
29
it's
years
still
later.
so relevant to today
Yes.
Yeah.
speaks volumes. I think it would have been way better if we got an actual gay cast playing these
Hmm.
roles before the time. I think it's like a time capsule, and it made it kind of like palatable for
Probably.
straight people who
Yeah.
had no idea about this world. So I still would stay with the 5 day rental because there are so many moments that make me laugh. But I love that I can look back on this and say, oh, we have done so much better in some of our movies now.
I want to get a full interview of Nathan talking about his thoughts on the Birdcage then versus now. I
Now,
mean,
yeah.
because he talks about it briefly in interviews and he seems to just have appreciation and fond memories for it. But him being I think, the only gay person in the cast, it would be interesting to see his thoughts about how it holds up today. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I think
And
that might be a good conversation.
to Danielle's point, like a gay movie for straight people, compounded with Robin Williams is always over the top. So that added to the palatability of his character, but because you could kind of be like, oh, that's just Robin being Robin at some level
Yeah.
as well.
On that topic, I'm sorry, is
No,
Brokeback
you're good.
Mountain a gay movie for straight people? I don't know. I just
I'm just gonna tell you the truth. Brokeback Mountain is a gay movie for gay people who want to
okay.
see some very inappropriate things. But I challenge any gay person who sees this. Tell me you have not gone camping and done exactly what happened at that scene
Uh,
at the house.
Well, it's literally a trend on TikTok right now talking about different movies and TV shows
yeah.
about, I think there's a new show that's out on Amazon, and they were saying that it's a gay TV show for straight people. And so people
Mm.
have been like breaking down different movies and TV shows and saying what they think it is.
I feel like
And
Will and
so
Grace might be a gay TV show for straight people. I think that there was something about that show that was palatable for straight people.
yeah, somebody actually did call out that show and they
Mhm.
Yeah.
said like it's kind of a mix at times, but it's
Yeah.
definitely a gay show for straight people. And
Yeah.
the L Word is definitely a gay show for gay people.
I love the L Word. I'm just gonna tell y'all, if you have not seen the L Word, watch it. It's so
Mess.
good.
So much mess in that show.
I've got to watch it. It's on my list.
Well, if you have opinions about the birdcage or anything we discussed today or in any of our previous episodes, hit us up at our quick drop 909-601-6653. Twat us at the Twitters, hem us at the threads, butterfly in the sky at blue sky, and you could be featured on a future episode.
And join us next week as we close out Pride Month with Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
And AJ and John, it has been an absolute pleasure. We are so happy that you joined us and brought all of your insights and commentary, and we can't wait for you to join us again.
Yes.
Thank you. We would love to be on
Yes.
again. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. This was so much fun.
And as always, be kind and rewind.